Hello everyone, this is Caitlin, and I'm here today to review Dead Island Riptide. Now, for those of you who are concerned about spoilers and don't like spoilers, this review probably isn't for you because I like to talk about the game heavily in certain plot parts in the game, so this wouldn't be too good for you because this is just how I review. This is how we roll. This is how we do at Angry Fat Girl 2K12. Now, for those of you who are interested in what I have to say but don't want to hear the spoilers, skip to the end. I'll have my rating. You'll hear my rating. For those of you who have played the game or don't give a shit about spoilers and are willing to listen to this whole shit pile rant about what I think, then grab a chair, grab a Mountain Dew or some other fizzy drink, and let's talk about Dead Island. Now, firstly, I'd like to say Dead Island Riptide is not a sequel to Dead Island. The developers have stressed that it's not a sequel, that it's just a little embellishment and extension to the story of the original Immune. So it's more like an add-on, in my opinion, if anything, because you notice it doesn't say Dead Island 2, it just says Dead Island Riptide, which leads me to believe is simply an add-on. It's a very large add-on. Some people view it differently, some people think, oh, it's a full game, but I digress. I mean, I disagree, but I digress. So, first off, in the original Dead Island, I remember thinking to myself how much potential that game had. If the developers had gotten a few more things right and fixed several issues, Dead Island had potential to be a great game. So, with Dead Island Riptide, I thought they would do all they can to make this amazing. I was wrong. Dead wrong. No pun intended. Oh, that was cheesy. Dead Island Riptide essentially feels and looks exactly like its predecessor. It has all the same problems and glitches of the previous game. I just feel like the developers were uninspired and lazy at times. The graphics are a tad better, but it's pretty much the same. I encountered so many glitches. It was so frustrating. Just like the first one. The graphics, I feel, for 360 graphics were a bit, in my opinion, subpar. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. The combat is still more focused on melee, and the guns can still feel underpowered despite what their damage per second says, aka DPS. The issue of zombies being overpowered is still present. It is ridiculous. A walker with 2 or 3 good swings can kill my level 47 Sam B? That's one of the biggest issues, that it's pretty hard to play the damn game alone because you have typical zombies who can just demolish your character in just a couple swipes. It's ridiculous. Still, there's a lot of issues in combat, but combat is still satisfying, but can feel like a grind after a while. There have been times where I just ran away to avoid killing the zombies because it would get just so repetitive and just feel like a grind. I don't know, that's just me. The gameplay is good. I like how you repair and upgrade weapons. I mean, it's pretty realistic because with melee weapons, you're going to have them degrading and deteriorating and falling apart as you use them more, so it's good that you can it's good that you can upgrade them, but I meant repair. But the upgrades are fun. I like the mods. I like the shock mods. Just very fun mods. I like that aspect of the game. That's very good. I like that you can modify your weapons and make them unique in your perspective. Other people may have the same exact weapon, but for you, you made like a freaking badass weapon. You took this machete and you added a shock mod on it. Hells yeah. Trading is pretty standard. I mean, there's not much I can say about the trading. It's your typical buying and selling. Nothing too amazing there. The voice acting can vary from being exceptionally good to just cheesy and weak. There are so many just NPCs that their acting, it fell short. I just felt like this feels fake as hell. This isn't good. But I will say the 5 main characters are great, especially Sam B, voiced by Phil Lamar. Now let's take a moment here. I love voiced actors and actresses. That's one of my favorite parts of the video game, is playing a video game and seeing if I can spot a particular voice actor or actress. And I knew right off the bat from the first Dead Island that was Phil Lamar voicing Sam B. Now, for those of you who don't know, Phil Lamar has done pretty much everything. This guy's a freaking god. He has done several roles in Family Guy. He does the main role in Futurama. I forget the name of that one dude, but he's kind of Jamaican. I haven't watched Futurama in a while, but still a good show. I should polish up on that. He has done voice acting for both the Knights of the Republic games. He has done Mass Effect games. He has done a lot. There's so much other work that I'm not even going to bother to bring up. This guy has done so much in the voice acting world, and he is so exceptional. And he's had live action roles too. I believe he had a small part in Pulp Fiction. So this guy's great, and that's one of the reasons I picked Sam B, because I knew who it was, but I just love Sam B too. The game, that brings me another thing. The game has great characters. I get attached to some of the NPCs, and I get very upset when they die or get zombified. The main characters, in my opinion, are the best. I played as Sam B in Dead Island, and now Dead Island Riptide. He's my favorite. I love Sam B. His comments that he has to say, it's great. It's great. I still love Sean, aka Shen, however the hell you say her name. I love her. I almost played as her, but I still Sam B, for me, he was the tank dude. He had blunt weapons. I love blunt weapons, so I went with him. And plus, he had, higher health, tank, and Sean had little lower health than everybody's. I really love Perna too. I mean, what can you say about Perna? She's a hell of a woman. She's freaking badass. She's angry. Definitely would say she's a feminist. She just not sure she feels about men. She did have that one perk called Gender Wars where she had 15% more damage against men, so I think it's pretty evident. She calls them assholes and yeah, that's Perna. Perna's Perna, right? She cusses a lot. Still, though, her fury will never make sense to me. How can she just pull out a gun at random and then, you can't use it with her? That just, I don't understand, but hey, whatever. Logan's pretty cool, too. I like that guy. And so is John. I mean, you didn't really figure out a lot about John. You're just like, oh, he's immune, too. Sweet. I don't know, I didn't really have this strong urge to play him, though. In multiplayer, I noticed that a lot of people were playing as John, and I thought that was pretty cool. That also brings me to my next subject. Multiplayer. Multiplayer is pretty fun. I think sometimes people could think it's a bit of a broken system in Dead Island, Riptide, and the original one. But they fixed a few things from the original Dead Island that were lacking in this game. So, that's good. I like that they kind of give you an even ground on enemies based on your level. I still get crazy. I feel like a crazy noob when I'm playing with somebody who's like a level 69 or 70. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I feel like such a noob. But it gets a nice middle ground, and you can get some crazy loot with people who are higher levels. The multiplayer is pretty fun. I mean, it's not particularly revolutionary. I think, though, that I feel bad for people who... Because here's one thing, though, about the multiplayer. I wish that there was cooperative multiplayer. This is what I've been wishing since the first one, and now I'm wishing it for the Dead Island. Or at least you could bring an AI with you. Because there's some people who don't have Xbox Live who would like to play co-op. And it would make sense that you could have another person use their character. Say that somebody's Sam B, like me, and like my friend likes to play Sean's, and you take her character, you use the storage of the Xbox, obviously, it's on the same Xbox, and you have local co-op. I still don't understand how that's not happening. I guess it's a little harder than just doing online, but I still wish that they could do local co-op, or at least you could bring an AI with you, because from the... And I know these were rumors before the game was released. I had the impression that you could bring a AI with you if you're playing single player, not online. But that was not the case. So that's what I have to say about the multiplayer. I mean, it's a pretty standard multiplayer, nothing exceptional, nothing groundbreaking. Still fun. I could not beat the game on single player. I had to beat it with people. I mean, man. I got a lot of Xbox Live friends off of that too, so that's pretty cool. The scariness of the game, because this is a horror game, so we have to talk about its horror elements. Let me start off by saying that I am not huge into horror games. I've played horror games and I've enjoyed them, but I don't know what happened, but I used to be not so scared, but this game scares me. It's pretty scary, and a lot of people are saying, like, what, it's just zombies, but for me, it's how maybe something like this could happen in real life. I'm starting to look at people and I can see the flip side of them as zombies, and I can see the flip side of myself as a zombie, and that pretty much freaks me out. So I think I've got a little post-traumatic stress disorder from this game that's not going to go away. Maybe it'll go away after a week or two, but I'm taking on myself to play games that do not have zombies right now after I beat this one. Woo. So it definitely can be scary. If you're someone who's used to the horror genre and you're used to zombies, I don't think this will creep you out too much, if at all. Probably enjoy it, the elements of the horror, anyways. So the next thing I want to talk about, which kind of ties in with how scary this is the sound effect and soundtracks. Now, what resonated with me from the first Dead Island was how how freaking horrifying the zombies sounded. I did notice they reused some of Dead Island's soundtracks and sound effects. That irked me a little, but it was still all very good. I mean, when you got something working right the first time, why change it up? I have to say, though, that Sam B's first song, Who Do You Voodoo, Bitch, was better than No Room in Hell. Just saying. Now, here's the biggest thing. The storyline. It could still be very, very cliche. I think it improved a little from the first. I don't know. I mean, I guess when you have zombie video games, you can't work that much with storylines. And I know many of you are probably going to provide me examples that zombie games that have exceptional storylines. But for me, Dead Island's storylines it's very weak. I don't know. Sometimes it's just I don't know. There's definitely themes of betrayal and plot twists, and you have your quintessential conspiracy theory about how the plague got there. But it's decent, but it's not great. There's so many facets of the storyline that could be improved. For me, a lot of the cons were the glitches. It was so much they could have done better, and what got really annoying, oh my god. Some of the dialogue was so cheesy, and some of it would keep repeating. I would stand by someone trying to buy something, and they would say the same thing over and over again. And I know you can't have lots of dialogue all the time and have them say something new every time, but come on, man. There was only so many times that I could hear, like in the first Dead Island, this guy at the lighthouse, like, where the hell did I put that? And he kept saying that shit. I'm like, bitch, I don't know where you put that. You figure it out on yourself. So I think one thing I do want to talk about, and this is a huge spoiler, is the ending. I don't know. That is a huge cliffhanger. I'm going to be, because as you know, if you beat this, you see at the end they're all on this boat, and then they dock, and of course 6 days later on some distant coast, some faraway island, another freaking island, right? You see this woman, and she's like, oh, shit, a boat has appeared. And she walks up to the boat, and you see the handle of the hatch from the bottom being opened. And I don't know what I'm supposed to assume, because you don't see them at the top. Are we supposed to assume that they're immune because of the mutagens they injected in their body, that they all turned into zombies? And they killed everybody and turned everybody else into zombies, so now it's going to go on some other island, and we're going to have another island game or something? What am I supposed to assume here? I don't know, it's a huge cliffhanger, and I would be really upset. I would feel like that was a freaking cop-out ending, because the survivors have been through so much shit, the immune have been through so much shit, and I don't know, I felt it was kind of cheesy how they brought in the mutagen storyline, like, oh yeah, you have mutated your immunity to this, so the infection's in you and you can't control it or whatever. I guess that's basically all I want to say. I have been going on for 15 minutes now, holy shit. Definitely an in-depth review. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. There's not a lot of improvements. There are not a lot of things that are different. They added new zombies. They added new weapons. Cool. They added a boat. You could drive a freaking boat. You're on another island. Right. Some new characters. Cool. But they reused character models, which, by the way, kind of bothered me. Like I said earlier, that I can feel like it was a bit uninspired and lazy at times. This game, that's the thing about Dead Island, I think about the whole series it will be, it has so much potential to be shaped into a great, memorable game. It's just they don't take advantage of that. They don't. Overall, I would give Dead Island Riptide a 7 out of 10. It's a fun, solid game, no doubt. There's just so much holding it back from being a great game. Rent or buy? Definitely a rent. Even if you did enjoy the first one and bought the first one, I would say rent this first. Check it out for yourself. Get your feet in the water. And then decide. Alright, folks. That's the end of my review.